Hello and welcome to MassageTherapyRadio.com. I'm Eric Brown, your host, and my guest today is Fiona Rattray. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
Pleasure to be here.
Now, Fiona, you have written what is a massive manual called Clinical Massage Therapy.
Yes. It has been somewhat likened to the Manhattan telephone directory by some people. Yes. It's like what every massage therapist needs to know, from pathology assessment to your treatment plans to self-care, and it's all in one place. So you just pull it off the shelf, look it up, and there you have it. And the client who comes in and you weren't sure about that information, it's right there at your fingertips. Yeah.
Okay, can you tell us basically how this is laid out for people? Because it's a fabulous reference tool for any therapist, and every therapist should have this in their library.
We think so too. It's set up so that at the beginning all the terms are defined. So if I'm referring to a particular technique, all those things are discussed at the beginning, and then we go through different conditions that a person might experience, and it's basically
such
soup to
as
nuts, from pregnancy to multiple sclerosis, traumas to postural dysfunctions, respiratory conditions, just the whole. Basically what you probably will see coming through your door in your clinic. And each chapter follows a logical same layout where the information is in the same place in each thing, and you always find out about the pathology, the assessment, the technique protocols, and
okay, so slow it down just a little bit for me. So I love the way it's organized. Yeah. It's organized basically by a pathology or problem.
Yes, groupings of pathologies.
Yeah, grouping of pathologies.
Yeah.
And when someone goes into a chapter, the information they'll find is, first of all,
accessible. It leaps out at you, and they'll see if it's anatomy or if it's pathology or if it's physiology that pertains to that condition. They'll get that first.
So they get the anatomy, physiology related to that particular condition.
Yeah. And sometimes what people want to do is show the client that particular information. So the client might have been told they have carpal tunnel, they don't really know what it is, and they'll have in one location, they'll have the information and go, oh, that's what this means to me, right? So.
And then the chapter goes through some assessment considerations.
All SOAP note charting. So you've got your subjective information, your objective information, your testing, and so on. So they can just go through and follow that, so that they can lay out in their records what they actually achieved. And then we've got some symptom pictures, so you can double check and make sure that your test results resemble your client's symptoms. And then there's contraindications, because it's important to know if it's appropriate to work with a person, what you shouldn't be doing if there is a contraindication.
Yeah.
And then we get into the treatment section itself, where you've got the goals of your treatment. And we lay out different goals, and then the techniques you'd use to plug into that. And self-care for the client. We've got a whole section on that, because you don't want to do 100% of the work as a therapist. You want the person to be motivated to do half the job, right?
And you want them to have a better result.
Yes, you do. Yeah. You do.
Yeah, and what I really like about it is the treatment protocol you give for each condition.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people walk in our clinics, because we're relatively low volume compared to like a general physician or a chiropractor. Sometimes you have people walk in with condition, maybe ankylosing spondylitis, and suddenly it's like, okay, now what are the considerations here?
Yeah.
How do I approach this in terms of treatment? And what I like is you've just spelt it out. It's here's the general approach you should take. Given these considerations.
And also there's information about if a person's on a specific set of medications. There's information about what you should be aware of as a therapist, so you're not doing something again that might be contraindicated. So,
Now, do you do any workshops at all?
We do. We're trying something new this year, in that if you get a certain number of clients together, we will come to you. A certain number of students together, we will come to you. So if you get, 8 to 10 people will come and present a workshop. We do have a list of topics, but we can tailor things to people. And added bonus, if you're in a really interesting locale like Hawaii, we're really happy to come.
Yes. Okay, so you don't have a roadshow of workshops, but if anybody is interested in having you speak, especially if they're someplace warm, just give you a call, contact you, and you'll be there.
Yeah, we do also focus on. We could do a regional approach, so we could review anatomy, testing protocol, and techniques for the shoulder, for example, or for the neck, and so on. Or we could arrange it by new information the person may never have had before, like they may never have come across how to do assessment, so we could take them through that. Yeah.
And it's such a valuable tool. Is this being used in schools?
Yeah, we thanks to the miracle of the internet, we sell around the world. We sell to a lot of schools in the States now. We do most schools in Canada. There's number of schools in the States that we sell to, New Zealand, Australia, South Africa. We just got the London School of Sports Massage as a client, so we're kind of global.
So do you have any idea how many schools might be using this as a textbook? Because a lot of the listeners might already have this on their
there's
bookshelves.
About 400 schools in the States that are using it in different ways in their curriculum.
Yeah.
So and in Canada we've got about 50 or so schools. And then there's also the therapists who have been graduated for a while and are looking at it as a resource.
Yeah.
And we also have people who work in chiropractic offices who might not have had more than a 500-hour course, and yet they're being asked to work with clientele base who has more complicated conditions, and they wind up using that as a reference tool. So we have chiropractors buying it for the therapists working within their clinic.
That's excellent.
So interesting.
That's excellent. Well, I'm glad to see it's used so broadly in so many schools, because like you say, it is an excellent reference, no matter what the level of training is, whether it's a 2,200-hour program or 500-hour program. I think people can definitely benefit from taking a look at this book.
Yeah, it took us 5 years to put together, and it's out there in the universe. So
now, if people want more information or want to get a copy of the book, is the best way to go to your website?
That's probably the easiest. So it's www.clinicalmassagetherapy.com, and they can, through there, if they wanted to phone, they can get a phone number. If they want to fax us, they can go through the fax or call our order desk. But that's the easiest way.
Okay, so it's www.clinicalmassagetherapy,
all one word, .com. Yeah.
Great. Well, on behalf of Massage Therapy Radio, I want to thank you so much for coming today. But before you go, I want to ask you, we're launching this Massage Therapy Radio. What kind of impact do you think this kind of forum can have for the industry? What do you think of the concept?
Well, I think it's interesting because there's a split in the massage community between tech-oriented folks and non-tech-oriented folks, and there's going to be a grouping of massage therapists that would not likely to go there. They're probably older individuals, not necessarily the case, but there's a whole new crop of people who are being like, hey, where can I find more information about massage therapy and all that? And they're going to think about this as a concept, and that's, I think, who we're speaking to here. And I think that's pretty exciting, actually, because other professions are doing this, and it seems like here we're doing it too. So yeah.
Great. Well, thank you for sharing your thoughts. And on behalf of MassageTherapyRadio.com, I want to thank you very much for joining us.